Hey everybody, welcome back to World History with Mr. Finn. We are starting to get into Roman history. We began by talking about the Roman culture and the groups that made that culture up. So if you wanted to go back and look at the last video, if you missed it, we had the Etruscans, the Latins, and the Greeks, all of which came together to make Roman civilization and Roman culture the way it was, the way they dressed, their alphabet, everything about their culture came from those three groups. Today, we are going to look at this early part of Roman history because Rome is going to be a very influential civilization and it's going to have a lot to do with our lives today. But the beginning part of Rome is a little bit different than what Rome is going to become. So we're going to get through that today. So we're going to begin with this timeline that is going to be for your notes. So on your notes, I'm going to want to see this timeline. And we're going to begin with 753. 753 is an important date. It might show up on quizzes. This is going to be Rome, and this is what I want you to write. Rome is, and the word is founded. Founded means that the city of Rome was created. So if I say something was founded on this date, that means it started on that date. So Rome begins in 753 BC. Now remember, BC is before we get to zero, before the Common Era is what it's going to be called. And we're headed this way, trying to get to year zero. And once we get to zero, we're going to start going up again towards 2020. But way back, Rome is going to start here. Now, in this early part of Roman history, Rome is going to be controlled by Etruscan kings. Now, Etruscans were one of the groups that made up the culture of Rome, and these kings are going to govern over the city of Rome. And this is going to go on for a couple of hundred years. And it really goes until we get to the year, next year for our date. Let's go here. It's going to be 509 BC. And make sure we have our BCs in there, even though we know we're dealing with all BC right now. In 509, what is going to happen is the Romans, the people living in Rome, are going to overthrow, they're going to have their revolution. They're going to overthrow these Etruscan kings. And they're going to establish something. And this is going to be the Roman Republic. Now, the Roman Republic, this is an interesting time period. Rome is going to be under Etruscan kings, so they're not going to like kings. And then when they overthrow the kings, they're going to start a republic. And under a republic, people are going to rule, and they're going to have different things that we are going to talk about, something called the Senate, which we have in the United States today. But the Roman Republic begins. We'll put that. The Roman Republic begins in 509, so that'll be another date. We don't have too many dates in class, but 753 and 509 are going to be some of the dates that you might see on quizzes. So in this early part, and this takes a long time, it's almost 250 years of being governed by Etruscan kings. They're going to overthrow them and establish the Roman Republic. Now, Rome is its own civilization. Now, the people of Rome are going to be in control of Rome, and they're not going to have kings. They're not going to even trust kings. They never will trust kings. Ever again. But from this point until we get to 264, 264 is not going to be a date that you'll see on quizzes, but it's important because it's going to solidify something. So from basically 509 all the way until 264, which is another huge amount of time, you are going to see Rome in constant warfare with the other groups on the Italian peninsula. So during this time period, they're going to conquer, let's just say 350 BC. We'll have it as the Latins, one of the groups, are taken over. The Latins are taken over there. And then when we get to 264, we're going to see the Greeks that were there. The Greeks are going to be taken over. Now, we go through this period of time pretty quick in class because it's really about Rome becoming self-governing over the Italian peninsula. And it takes a while, as you can see. Rome starts in 753, and it takes all the way until 264 BC until Rome just conquers its one little peninsula in the Mediterranean. So it's a long time ago. It's a slow start for Rome. But once they get to here, we're going to start ramping it up. We're going to ramp it up pretty quick. From this point, Rome is going to go in a hyper speed, and they're going to take over some other places that we're going to look at next class. But for today, your timeline that you're turning in is just really the start. This is how we can label it. The start of Rome. And it's constant warfare for Rome. But why are they successful? They are successful for a couple of reasons. One, the way that they operate their civilization. They extend citizenship to people that they take over. That way, if you are taken over, you now can become a Roman citizen, which means you get all the benefits of being a Roman citizen, and that means that you actually care how Rome does. And that's really important. Another thing, they set up colonies for where they go. They build roads so they can respond to issues very quickly. They're just organized extremely well, which allows them to take over these areas. And then when they do take them over, the people are like, oh, this is okay. I get to live the way I always lived. I'm now a Roman citizen. Rome's doing pretty good. I hope that Rome continues to do good. And then after a few generations, the people are just like, hey, I'm Roman. They didn't even know they got taken over. And so, in this start of Rome, you're going to see constant warfare, which Rome will kind of continue to do throughout the history of Rome. But they are going to, by 264 BC, be in control of the Italian peninsula, and they will be off and running at that point. Today's assignment, though, is about one of the virtues of Rome, something that will teach you what Romans learned as they were growing up, and that is about this man, Cincinnatus. Cincinnatus is going to be a farmer. That is all that I will tell you. But he's going to be a very important farmer because he's going to show how people should feel about Rome. Next class, we'll talk a little bit about Cincinnatus, and I'll tell you the story. But today, I want my 5 W's, just in case you forget. The who, which you already know. The who, what, where, when, and why, in case you have not done one of the assignments yet. You're going to tell me all about Cincinnatus, everything about him, what does he do, why is he important, and then you'll really see why Romans feel the way that they do. And I'll give you a little hint. It is basically about, the story is about how you should act, how you should feel about Rome, and then how you should not have power. If you do get power, what does Cincinnatus do with that power? Those are some things I want you to take a look at. Make sure you get this to me today. You guys have been doing a great job. I'm impressed with what I've seen. I do want to see the timeline as well, so I make sure that you guys are following. And on that note, I will see you next class.